I am never ever going to read non-fiction again.
So, my reading goal for 2026 was to read 3 books a month, and for this month, that is January, I have finished reading Fun in Devlok Omnibus. The second is a manga, Chichitoko, which is a 7 volume manga by Uchiko, and it has 7 volumes, so actually, it comes to 8 books in total, but we'll only count them as two. And lastly, the last book that I had picked up was Bending Over Backwards by Carlo Pizzati. So, what I had.
So, let me see if I'm getting enough exposure, lights. You're the main attraction, lights, camera, action. So when I had picked up the book, I was very much thinking that I'll get. So I had picked the. So I had picked up the book thinking it will be very informative. So I had picked up the book thinking it would be very informative, as many around me, including myself, suffer from different kinds of back pain, and I thought maybe this could help. And since he's talking about his journey on finding a cure for back pain, maybe he would have many experiences on what works and what does not work. And it was like that. The storyline follows the same to see if the ones claiming that his back pain can be cured are actually claiming the truth or not. And of course, since I've only read like half of the book, it is seen that he had ended up in failures at finding a cure. I was enjoying the book at the start, but as it started gradually going ahead and ahead, it started to annoy me. Like, dude, how are you going to find a cure at a rave party? You clearly went there for the woman that invited you over, and this guy sounded very sexist, if I must say. He sounded very sexist because in the book the way he described female characters, was completely different from how he described male characters. The description of male characters would have their professions, their charms, like qualities that are not just about appearances, but when describing women, the qualities were mostly based on appearance. What was more annoying is that he kept referring, sorry, it must be my personal thing, but he kept referring to his ex-wife as the mother of his child, the mother of his child, the mother of his child, as if that was the only relation he had with her. So, him referring to his ex-wife that he recently divorced was very off-putting, if I must say. And another thing was that his romantic interests mattered whenever he was whatever he's doing. His romantic interest mattered when it came to things that he wanted to believe when a woman was saying the thing. So for example, when he met someone before and she told him about the link between spirituality and technology, he was finding it very hard to believe. But when he was with a woman with whom he was romantically interested in, it was not very respectful the way he interacted with the woman and the way he thought about her throughout the journey. It was as if she was of just use for him. So that was the way I took it. And one more thing, yeah, the internal monologue, like the inner thoughts that he was having about the girl in in the mid chapter, about how he was losing interest slowly. It was very very annoying. He was just trying to justify it, like this is not happening, this spark is not there anymore, this is not there, that is not there. Like, dude, it's you who is not involved. It's you who's like she's not attractive anymore. It's not just between them, it's also you. And and the way he was, whatever. At first I tried reading it and give my commentary on the book, as in it's my own book, so I can write however. I started writing on what I felt in a red pen, and I never write on a book, on a novel or physical book in a red pen. I don't like to write unless it looks pretty, but in this case, it was not about looking pretty. I wanted to see if I could actually read it and ignore the part where he was being a man, but it was not happening. Half of the book, it was really annoying. It was getting annoying. His speech, his way of talking, his way of describing women, and the unnecessary details that were there in the book. So yeah, that was my opinion in the book. And the third book that I had read for January did not survive. So yeah, that's it for today. See you in the next video. Bye bye.